How to use Google Classroom for teachers. To begin using Google Classroom, go to classroom.google.com to create a class. Once on your Google Classroom dashboard, you'll see a plus sign at the top right corner of your screen. When you click this, you'll have the option to join a class or create a class. Select Create Class. You can now create the details of your class. Once you have all those details entered, click Create. Once your class is created, you'll be brought to the main class page, also known as the Stream tab. You can personalize the page by changing the header image at the top. To change the header image, in the bottom right corner of the header, you'll see Select Theme. This brings up a library of header images that Google Classrooms has. You can view them by different subjects. And once you see the one you'd like to use, just select it and click Select Class Theme. If you have your own image you'd like to use, you can click Upload Photo and then select it from your computer. This main Stream tab displays any new activity, such as new announcements, assignments, and posts from students. You can easily share post announcements or share attachments from this page by clicking in the Share Something with Your Class field. You can select who receives this message by clicking the drop-down beside all students. Once you have your message written, you can also add attachments to your message by clicking the Add button in the bottom left corner of the screen. You can choose to share files from a Google Drive, link to another web page, attach a file from your own computer, or share a YouTube video. Once your message is ready, click Post in the bottom right corner of the screen. If you aren't ready to post just yet, you can click the drop-down menu beside Post. Here you can choose to save the post as a draft or schedule it for a later date. You can then just select the date you'd like to schedule the post for and hit Schedule. To invite students to join your classroom, you can share the class code that's featured on the left-hand side of your header image. Just copy the code and email it to your students. They can then go to Google Classroom, click the Join a Class button, and enter the code that you've provided. An alternative method is to go to the People tab. Here you can select the user icon beside students and enter a name or email address, then click Invite. The student will then receive an email notification to join the classroom. You can also add other teachers by clicking the user icon beside teachers. If you'd like to email, mute, or remove a student, just select the checkbox beside the student's name and click the Actions drop-down. Then select the action you'd like to apply. The next tab is the Classwork tab. This is the main location for all assignments, lessons, worksheets, etc. By clicking the Create button, you can create a new assignment, quiz assignment, question, and so on. If you select Assignment, you can then create a new assignment by entering a title and instructions. You can then attach any reference materials by clicking the Add button, or creating a new reference material by clicking Create. On the right-hand side, you can select who the assignment is for. You can assign how many points the assignment is worth, and you can also choose to make it an ungraded assignment. You can then assign a due date by clicking the Due Date drop-down and then selecting a date for the assignment. If there's a grading rubric you'd like to use for the assignment, you can click the rubric button and then create a new rubric, reuse a rubric from a previous assignment, or import a rubric from Google Sheets. Once you have all your details ready, you can click Assign in the top right corner. Beside Assign, you can also click the drop-down to schedule the assignment for a later date, save the draft, or discard the draft. If you go back to the Classwork tab and select Create Quiz Assignment, you will be provided with the same options as creating an assignment, but you'll also be provided with a blank Google form to create a new quiz. By creating a question, you can create a discussion question that students can then respond to. Creating a material will allow you to share reference sheets and class notes, making it easy for students to find and use throughout the year. And finally, reuse post allows you to reuse a post that you've made in any of your other Google Classrooms. If you want to organize all of your classwork by unit or subject, you can select topic and create a category for each assignment to live in. You can then drag and drop which assignments you'd like to fall under that topic. In the top right corner of your Classwork tab, you can select Google Calendar to see all of your set due dates, or you can select Class Drive folder, which houses all of the attachments from your classwork, such as the attached reference sheets or Google Forms created. Any assignments, quizzes, and material created in this classwork section will also be posted to the Stream tab so students are aware of the activity. Finally, if we go to the Grades tab at the top, this is where you can see all of your students' grades from all of the assignments and quizzes in one spot. You can edit the grades by selecting the grade and typing in your edit. You can also see the work that a student has submitted for each assignment. To do so, go to the assignment for that student and click the 3 dots in the right-hand side of the cell. Then select View Submission. The last area to highlight for Google Classroom is your classroom settings. If you click the settings icon in the top right corner of your screen, you can control the settings of your classroom. You can change any of the class details that you set when you created the classroom, and you can also control the settings of your Stream tab. You can select if students can post or comment on the Stream tab, or if that is only reserved for teachers. You can also change how notifications for updated classwork is displayed on the Stream tab. In the grading section, you can change how grades are calculated for each assignment. By selecting the drop-down beside Overall Grade Calculation, you can choose if grades are calculated by total points or weighted by a category. And that's how to use Google Classroom for teachers. If this video helped you, let us know by liking it or commenting below, and don't forget to subscribe for more how-to instructional videos.